Hey everyone, it's Gothic here. So today I thought I would talk about my first tarot deck that I bought myself. Like, there's a lot of funny, superstitions, whatever you want to believe, that you're not supposed to buy your own tarot deck. You're supposed to be gifted a tarot deck. But I just find that this deck really speaks to me, and I've used it for years, and it has never failed me once. It has never failed me at all. I can rely on it. It's been probably a really nice, reliable deck. But the funny thing about this deck, so the deck I'm talking about is Leanne Greenway, her name is. That's down the bottom, so Leanne Greenway, and it's called the Simple Tarot. So it's nothing flashy, like, it's quite a nice book you come with it. It's quite nice. You sort of get, about gender, how tarot works, a few helpful tips to you along the way, like upright and reversed. It gives you all the, the beginning starts, which is quite nice, and then it goes through, all the different meanings. So you get a traditional points about the cards, you get a modern meaning, the reverse, and you get key points. So if you don't want to, talk about the whole modern meaning, you can just gravitate to the key points to sort of, it gives you a really good broad understanding of the card, and depending on what the reading's telling you at the time, you can sort of, you don't, all of them might not be relevant to the person that you're giving a reading to. So I just, it's been, don't know why I like this deck. It just speaks to me more than other decks I've had, and you get your basic sort of spreads at the back. This is my favorite spread to do. This one works the best for me, I find. The 3-3-3-1 spread. So, sort of, you get your 10 cards, and the final outcome is the bottom card. Some reason I really like that, and that gives me a really broad look on the person and where they're at and where they've been and where they're going, because the first top line is about past, you got your present and your future, and then an outcome for all of it. So I really love that spread. It just gives me a really good in-depth understanding of that person and what is trying to be spoken about at the time during a reading. So that's the book. Some people chuck away their books when dealing with tarot, because they rather look at the card to tell them what the image. What's interesting about this deck is you kind of actually need the book, because the images don't really tell you properly to what the book says. It's really fascinating. I find that fascinating about this deck. So here are the cards. They're quite lovely. Like, they're really simple in details. The back is flashy. So let's do this. We'll pick a card. So where's a good one to kind of explain what I mean about this deck and how it's kind of confusing when you try and look at it and it just doesn't make sense. So 2 of Cups. So here's your 2. This is the picture of the 2 of Cups. So of course in this picture we've got, dirt and plants. 2 cups. We've got like not quite praying hands. I wouldn't call them praying hands, but there's fire above them and like a blanket and 2 cups. So that's that. So sort of, that's the image in the book. But if we're to go off the book, like, it says for the 2 cups, the key points is wonderful relationship of mind and body. So, of course, now you look at this image. So, it's really hard to sort of say where wonderful relationship of mind and body would come from that image. Recognition, engagement, marriage, or pregnancy. So of course, again, the image doesn't, I don't think it like quite matches what it's trying to say, if that makes sense, the image. So of course, the traditional points of this card, the card features a hand of a man and a woman with their fingers stretched up to the flame. So out of that whole card, we're supposed to be looking at the two hands and the flame, nothing else about the image. So reversed, this one is a breakdown in relationship. It suggests, and then modern meaning, some say that this card is the soulmate of two extreme, complicated individuals. If the Quirion is a single and a wonderful new romantic on her way, it will become comfortable in her relationship and compare with her partner. The union to be sexy, but also based on the truth, honesty. The couple's communication very well, making it not just a physical connection, but also a blend of the mind. This card points towards the implementing marriage or engagement and a pregnancy. If you're reading a person who has a split up from her partner, there should be some reconciliation. So, sorry, I'm not a very confident reader and I struggle to articulate. So, of course, that's a bit of a mouthful. So, that's what this book says about this card. So, let's go on the Google, and let's Google up the Two of Cups to another, you know what I mean, like Biddy Tarots or something. We'll go Biddy Tarots because that's the site that a pretty good site to work with. So tarot cards, Two of Cups. Let's see what the interweb on Biddy Tarots tells you. I've actually got a friend that works in Biddy Tarot's call center. So the meaning, so upright, unfulfilled love, partnership, attraction, and relationship. Reverse breakdown, imbalance in relationship, lack of harmony. Like, I'm not going to read the whole website, because we'll be here forever. But the picture on this website, you have what they've shown is a female holding a cup and a male holding a cup, and they're standing opposite ends of each other, and that it's kind of like the ambulance symbol that you get. You can see, and it's got like a lion with wings, and then like there's two serpents around the line above them, and then it's just like some hills behind them. But that kind of makes more sense. Like in that image, that makes more sense to me about a male and a female coming together and a relationship. So if I saw that image on my tarot deck, I'd straight away be like, yep, I understand that. That's the Two of Cups. For this deck, unless unless you specifically know to look for these two hands and the flame above them, then you just don't really know what it means. So to me, it's not a very readable card, if that makes sense. So I find with this deck, unfortunately, you kind of have to gravitate back to the book because it's just too hard to sort of read from the pictures. Like things like stuff like justice, they're pretty straightforward. You can kind of look at that image and understand what this card is representing in a deck, which I quite enjoy. Like another good one is Wheel of Fortune. It's nice and readable. You get your Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, so there's a lot of them that, like, I love the Temptress. Temptress is just good, beautiful in this deck. Just this powerful woman, like, which makes a lot of sense. But, some of these cards, some are easier to read. Like, I know with the Eight of Swords, this one, there's a struggle, and the swords are a battle. Sometimes swords represent like a journey or a battle or a decision. Your life, you're trying to make that decision, and this one, is a really good representation of that. So again, feelings of being trapped, confused. So like you can kind of see in this card the feelings of being trapped is there. You can see it, like it's very readable. But other cards, they're just not as readable as you'd like. So this is just sort of what, this is just my opinion on this deck. Here it is. Simple tarot, like it's meant to be a very simple tarot deck. But I just find, unless you're a really confident tarot reader and you know what the cards actually mean without needing to gravitate back to a book, then this is fine for you because you already know and you don't really need the pictures so much to tell you what the card's saying. You can just do it all without needing it. But for me, for a simple tarot deck, I just found it was not a very readable deck to begin with, but that's okay. It's all the fun in it. But yeah, this was my attempt to explain my opinions on this deck. I still love this deck. Like, don't get me wrong. This is, for some reason, this is the deck I still gravitate to when I want to do a reading. Like, I just haven't found a deck to replace this one, if that makes sense. Like, like I've got a couple of decks upstairs. Like, I really love the Past Life deck. That one is a gorgeous deck. I've got a Lovers deck as well that's just about the romantic side of tarot, and I really love that, and that's really readable and lovely. But this one is my go-to deck. So don't ask me why, I just really connect to this deck. So thank you for watching my video. If you want to see more videos about me jabber about stuff like this, crystals, other decks, oracle decks, let me know. I can talk about them. Thank you for watching.